Iceland, the land of fire and ice. The country is famous for its breathtaking natural landscapes, from black lava fields and thermal geysers to majestic waterfalls and white glaciers. Besides, Iceland is also considered a paradise for nature lovers and adventurers, with the opportunity to admire the magical aurora borealis phenomenon. Iceland is also considered a peaceful, safe country with a clean natural environment, making many tourists feel that this is an ideal place to relax, explore and connect with nature. Lake Askja is located in the Askja volcanic system in the highlands of Iceland and has deep blue water, surrounded by barren terrain and muddy rivers flowing from glaciers, similar to what is shown in the picture. The clear water contrasts with the muddy streams in the foreground. The majestic and tranquil scene is partially covered by thin layers of mist over the distant mountain peaks, creating a sense of isolation and wilderness. The Faroe Islands, an archipelago located between Iceland and Norway in the North Atlantic Ocean. Specifically, the landscape with waterfalls flowing into deep valleys, layered cliffs, and green grasslands is reminiscent of landmarks like Fossa Waterfall or Mulafossar Waterfall in the Faroe Islands. These waterfalls often cascade from high cliffs into narrow valleys, surrounded by the region's distinctive mountains. The rugged and majestic scenery of the Faroe Islands is well known for its unique valleys and rocky mountain ranges. This image appears to be an aerial or landscape photograph depicting a natural, picturesque environment. It shows a combination of geological features, including a river or stream winding through rugged, mountainous terrain. The landscape is characterized by a variety of colors and textures, with areas of lush, green vegetation contrasting with darker rock outcrops and exposed soil. This location is a beach in the northwest region of Iceland, specifically Rauðsandar Bay, famous for its long stretches of golden and red sand, situated at the foot of tall cliffs. Rauðsandar Bay has wild and peaceful beauty, with clear blue water and vast space, creating a majestic and relaxing natural scene. A beach in the northern or northwestern region of Iceland, where small beaches lie between black rocks, with turquoise waters and vast stretches of green meadows. Fossa Waterfall in Iceland, where a high waterfall falls from a cliff to the green meadows below, with snow-capped peaks creating a beautiful and majestic natural scene. Hengifoss Waterfall is one of the most prominent and tallest waterfalls in Iceland, located in the eastern part of the country near Lake Laugardalsfjall. Standing at around 128 meters, 420 feet. The mountains are covered with snow all year round. beautiful mountain view with river flowing through valley in Iceland Highlands near Stigafoss Waterfall, Folsfallar, southern region of Iceland. The red houses in Iceland are a striking feature of the country's natural landscape. Originally, they were painted to protect the wood from harsh weather, and the red color made them stand out in the wild surroundings. Today, these houses not only hold historical and cultural value but also attract tourists with their unique beauty amidst Iceland's natural environment. The terrain is majestically mountainous, with towering snow-capped peaks. This is a typical high mountain terrain of the Arctic region. The trails meander through steep slopes and ravines. This is a rugged mountainous terrain, with many steep and uneven terrains. Snow and ice still remain on the mountain slopes, indicating a cold climate, with long winters. In the distance, you can see the winding coastline, with the turquoise blue waters of Iceland. This is an integral part of the Snæfellsnes Peninsula, with its stunning beaches. In addition to the snow-capped mountains, the area also has arid, wild hills. The diversity of the terrain is one of the outstanding features of the Snæfellsnes Peninsula. Vestrahorn, one of the famous places in eastern Iceland, with steep slopes and snow-capped peaks. These are the characteristic granite mountains of Vestrahorn, the coast with its charming black sand strips, formed from volcanic ash. The orange light of the sun shines on the mountain slopes, creating dramatic contrasts between light and shadow. Jökulsárlón was formed about 80 million years ago, when the Vatnajökull glacier began to retreat due to global warming. As the glacier retreated, it left behind huge icebergs, which gradually formed the Jökulsárlón glacial lake. This process began in the 1930s, when rising global temperatures caused the Vatnajökull glacier to melt more quickly. Each year, the glacier retreated further, and Lake Jökulsárlón grew larger. Giant Glacier Lake, Jökulsárlón Lake, was formed by giant icebergs that broke off from the Vatnajökull Glacier, one of Europe's largest glaciers. The icebergs floating on the lake create a unique and impressive scene. The contrast between the cool blue icebergs and the dark rocky ground around them further highlights the unique beauty of Jökulsárlón. The sky was overcast, filled with looming black clouds, creating a gloomy backdrop, adding a desolate look to the entire scene. Gullfoss was formed thousands of years ago, when Iceland's large glaciers and ice sheets began to melt due to climate change. This process created the Fita River, the main source of water for Gullfoss waterfall. The waterfall has a winding shape, like a double waterfall with two falls down the slope. Hayfoss Waterfall, one of the highest waterfalls in Iceland, is located in the Parque Nacional de Gerdalur. Hayfoss is approximately 122 meters high, making it one of the highest waterfalls in Iceland. The waterfall is located in a high and steep cliff, creating a majestic and wild landscape. The layers of soil and rock are clearly divided, with strange cracks and colors. Hayfoss is fed by the Fossa River, which gives it a rapid flow, forming a network of small waterfalls and whitewater streams. Small waterfalls from the mountain crevices create a carpet of clear, turquoise water that is very cool and refreshing. Hayfoss has existed for thousands of years, formed by geological processes of mountain building and water flow. It has become an important part of Icelandic culture and religion for centuries. Today, Haifoss is one of the most popular tourist destinations in Iceland, attracting tourists with its majestic and wild beauty. It is a unique and precious natural heritage of this island nation. The basalt cliffs are clearly stratified, creating high and steep rock walls. This is the result of thousands of years of complex volcanic and geological processes. Flowing below the cliffs is a river that is emerald green, crystal clear, and has a beautiful cool look. Stokksnes, a beautiful peninsula located in the southeast of Iceland. The image is dominated by towering, snow-capped rocky mountains. These are ancient volcanic mountains formed by past geological and volcanic activity. A long highway winds between the mountains, further highlighting the beauty of the natural landscape. Along the coast of Stokksnes are jet black sand beaches and steep cliffs, creating a wild and impressive landscape. The contrast between the gray rocky mountains, the black sand beaches, and the blue sea creates a beautiful picture of natural harmony. Djúpalónsandur, a stunning beach located on the Snæfellsnes Peninsula in northwestern Iceland. The highlight of this beach is its jet black sand. The beach is surrounded by towering cliffs, with visible rock layers. Scattered across the black sand are large boulders, melted and formed from past volcanic processes. Fjallaback Nature Reserve, a geologically and topographically stunning area in southern Iceland. A vast and diverse land, with lush green mountains, steep slopes, and winding rivers. It is a legacy of ancient volcanic and geological activity. The landscape is shrouded in mist and clouds, reflecting the ever-changing weather and climate of this mountainous region. The entire landscape is marked by a wild, untouched landscape, giving a sense of peace and tranquility. Brúarfoss has existed for thousands of years, formed by ancient geological and volcanic processes. Today, it is one of the most famous and popular waterfalls in Iceland, attracting many visitors. The sky is overcast and cloudy, reflecting the unpredictable weather in this highland region. Seljalandsfoss Waterfall, one of Iceland's most famous and beautiful waterfalls. The waterfall is about 60 meters high, creating an impressive and undulating cascade. Seljalandsfoss is located between high and steep cliffs, with clearly stratified rock layers. The area surrounding the waterfall is covered with lush green vegetation, adding to the majestic beauty of Seljalandsfoss. Fjarðarfjörður, a beautiful canyon located in the south of Iceland. Fjarðarfjörður Canyon has high and steep cliffs, clearly stratified. Thanks to the combination of geological, topographic and water factors, Fjarðarfjörður brings a majestic, wild and peaceful beauty. Lake Laugardalsfjall is located between towering rocky mountains, with snow-capped peaks. Godafoss Waterfall is about 12 meters high and about 30 meters wide. The waterfall is located near the center of Iceland. Furfjall Mountain is shaped like a giant cup, with a peak over 400 meters high. The entire area around Furfjall bears the marks of past volcanic activity, with many steep slopes, craters and unique topography. Towering and abrupt, the columns of rock rise straight up from the sea. The columns are formed from basalt, a volcanic rock typical of Iceland. The extreme proximity to the sea and constant exposure to waves, wind, and harsh weather have created unique landforms and rock formations. Iceland's location atop the mid-Atlantic ridge has created a landscape dotted with volcanoes, lava flows, and geothermal features. Meanwhile, the country's glaciers, including some of the largest in Europe, have carved deep valleys and left behind unique geological formations as they advance and retreat over time. The landscape is partly obscured by low clouds or fog, a common occurrence in the cool maritime climate of the Westfjords. A narrow road can be seen winding through the mountainous landscape, typical of the transport infrastructure in this remote, fjord-filled region. Hverfjall is an impressive and historically significant volcano in Iceland. It was formed about 2,500 years ago in a powerful phreatomagmatic eruption, when rising magma met groundwater, resulting in a series of violent explosions that blew open the large circular crater we see today. The volcano is part of the Krafla volcanic system, which has been highly active for centuries, with numerous eruptions and periods of rupture and subsidence. Hverfjall itself has not erupted since its original formation, but it remains a prominent feature of the Icelandic landscape. Seljalandsfoss has a long and fascinating geological history, having been shaped by the dynamic interaction between Iceland's volcanic and glacial processes over thousands of years. The waterfall was probably formed during the last ice age, when glacial meltwater carved a path through the soft volcanic rock, creating the dramatic cliff over which the waterfall now flows. As the climate warms and the glaciers retreat, Seljalandsfoss continues to be fed by the nearby Eyjafjallajökull glacier, making it a year-round attraction. The unique feature of the waterfall, which allows visitors to walk behind the falling water, also makes it a popular destination for both tourists and photographers. The striking hexagonal basalt columns that form the canyon walls are the result of the slow cooling and contraction of volcanic lava flows over time. This distinctive geological feature is a hallmark of many of Iceland's waterfalls and canyons. The waterfall's brilliant turquoise water cascades down basalt rocks into a deep, narrow gorge below. The water's color is often attributed to the high mineral content carried over from nearby glaciers. The river originates from the Langjökull Glacier, one of Iceland's largest ice caps, and flows through a rugged, dramatic canyon. The Westman Islands are a group of more than 15 small islands and reefs, formed by a series of volcanic eruptions over thousands of years. The largest and most populous island, Heimaey, is the only inhabited island in the archipelago. Over time, the constant flow of water, ice, and wind has shaped and further shaped the canyon's characteristic winding shape. The lush vegetation that now clings to the canyon walls is a testament to Iceland's transition to a warmer, more temperate climate in the centuries since the last ice age. the formation of Fjarðarfjörður is closely tied to Iceland's turbulent geological history. The canyon was likely formed by glacial meltwater and erosion during the last ice age, when large glaciers retreated and powerful rivers carved their way through basalt and volcanic rock. The Fjarðarfjall crater has dramatic slopes, is about 1 kilometer in diameter and 140 meters deep. This large circular crater is a classic example of a Mar volcano, formed by explosive interactions between rising magma and groundwater. The dark, almost black color of the crater walls contrasts with the surrounding lush vegetation and the distant mountains in the background. This distinctive color is likely due to the composition of the volcanic ash and rocks ejected during Fjarðarfjall's violent eruption. Over time, the constant flow of water and the occasional retreat and advance of glaciers have continued to shape and erode the dramatic cliffs, revealing the striking basalt rock formations that now surround the waterfall. The lush vegetation that clings to the canyon walls is testament to the gradual transition to a more temperate climate over the centuries since the last major ice age. A sense of scale and grandeur is evoked from the aerial perspective, highlighting the sheer size and power of Skogafoss in the rugged, vast landscape of Iceland. Over the centuries, the constant erosive force of the waterfall has carved deep into the underlying rock, giving Skogafoss its distinctive appearance. The lush vegetation that now clings to the canyon walls is testament to Iceland's transition to a more temperate climate in the millennia since the last major ice age. Today, Skogafoss is one of Iceland's most iconic and visited natural landmarks, drawing visitors from all over the world to marvel at its sheer scale, power, and natural beauty. This aerial image captures the nature of this remarkable waterfall and the lasting impact that Iceland's glacial and geological history has had on its extraordinary landscape.